This is why I'm closing my Etsy shop after 3 years and hundreds of sales. I launched an Etsy shop and 2 days later chose to close it down. Etsy closed my shop. Lesson learned. Yep, every day I'm seeing more and more people leaving their Etsy print-on-demand stores behind and instead looking for other alternative websites and platforms to sell their print-on-demand products with. Which I honestly totally understand, because while it's true that yes, I personally am still selling my print-on-demand products on Etsy and making money on the platform, that is not the only platform that I sell on. Nope, because you know what? There are lots of other great alternatives out there to Etsy, and so in this video, I'm going to discuss what those alternatives are. Plus, I'll also be discussing the pros and the cons of each of these alternatives so that you can choose the ones that are best for you. And we'll start with one alternative that very few people consider: eBay. Yes, on eBay, there are lots of thriving print-on-demand stores, such as this one, which has had over 40,000 sales, with its most popular products being their print-on-demand mugs, and this store here, which has had over 170,000 sales, with its most popular products being their customizable print-on-demand items. And this one here that's had over 400,000 sales, which is absolutely staggering, with their most popular products being their print-on-demand t-shirts. And you know, here's the thing, right? You can sell print-on-demand products like this on eBay very easily, because chances are whatever print-on-demand app that you're integrating already with Etsy also has an eBay integration too. And something that's actually really cool about choosing to start a print-on-demand store on eBay is that it can actually be a lot cheaper than starting one on Etsy. Yep, because on Etsy, they charge 20 cents for each item that you list. But on eBay, you get to list 250 listings each month for free. On the flip side though, I think that one of the cons of selling on eBay is that because you can list pretty much any item you like on there that is legal, it can be difficult to stand out on the platform. Which admittedly is not the same on Etsy. There you can usually only sell items that are handmade or that have been designed by you. What this means then is that there's a lot less products that get listed on here, which means that there is less competition even if you charge higher prices. Because of this, I recently opened a brand new print-on-demand store on Etsy, and it took me less than 2 weeks to start getting sales with their free internal organic traffic. I didn't have to pay for a single ad, but you see, here's the thing, right? There is a flip side again to this argument too, and that is this. There is actually an argument that it might be a bit easier for a new print-on-demand seller to stand out on eBay as long as you're willing to pay. Yep, and that's because of eBay's incredible advertising program, Promoted Listings, which honestly, very few people even know about. So it sometimes feels like it's some sort of secret. You see, on Etsy, if you want to use their paid ads to make sales, they will charge you each time that somebody clicks on an ad. So if you advertise your products and get a bunch of clicks, but nobody buys anything, it can get expensive, fast. Whereas on eBay, it's free for people to click on your ads. Yes, you only get charged a fee if somebody actually buys something after clicking on it. And how much that you get charged is actually up to you. Yep, you can choose to pay as little as 2% of your sale price after somebody clicks on a listing and then buys it. Of course, the more that you're willing to pay, the more eBay will show your ad. So I'd probably recommend using an eBay calculator to work out what your break-even point is, and then use that to figure out the maximum that you are willing to pay. If you do that, then you can use eBay's advertising to bring in easy traffic to your listings at what is pretty much no financial risk to you, which is quite incredible. And another alternative that you might want to consider is this: Shopify. And look, I'll be honest with you. Clearly, as you can see from my Shopify plaque and my background here, I am someone that loves Shopify. Yep, because what a lot of new subscribers don't know is that well before I was selling my print-on-demand products on Etsy, I was and still am selling them privately too using Shopify. I'll link to my videos that discuss how I do that in the video description. And I'll also include in there a link to my free ebook, The 6 Steps that Six-Figure Online Stores Follow to Make Over $10,000 a Month, which also shares some of my personal tips and tricks to making money with Shopify Print On Demand. But yes, probably the biggest advantage that you get when you start your own store with Shopify is that you own it, and so you are in control of it. Unlike if you choose to sell on a third-party platform like eBay or Etsy, when you do that, eBay or Etsy owns it and they are in control, so they can choose to close your store if they choose. Plus, another big advantage that you get to opening up your own store is that you can make a lot more money per sale in a Shopify store. Yep, and that's because third-party platforms like eBay and Etsy do charge extra sales success fees on top of the card processing fees. Whereas on Shopify, your fees are mostly card processing fees that companies like Visa and PayPal charge. On top of that, you will of course have Shopify's flat hosting fee, but since this is a fixed flat charge, it works out much cheaper for me per sale. And so it means then that most of the profit that I make from print on demand sales, I get to personally keep, which is nice. But as always, there's a flip side to this argument, and the flip side is that the reason why third-party platforms like eBay and Etsy do have these extra charges is because they get hundreds of millions of visits a month. To get these, they have to advertise their websites, which they pay for with the fees. So you get to piggyback off of their pre-existing traffic in exchange for these sale fees. Which means then that if you're watching this and you want the freedom of having your own Shopify store that you are in control of, you also need to be willing to market the website yourself. Yes, and there are lots of different ways you can do that. I personally prefer to use free Google search engine traffic, and there are lots of free videos on YouTube that do teach this. But of course, you can also take the money that you save on fees and instead put it into paid Facebook or TikTok ads, and there are lots of videos on YouTube that also teach this for free. And you can also get free traffic from social media sites too by creating fun viral videos of your products. Take for example this video here, advertising this print on demand sticker. It's had over 4 million views on TikTok. Well, if you go to their TikTok bio, you'll find that they have posted a link which takes you over to their Shopify Print on Demand store in their bio, where you can go and buy their print on demand stickers. And plus they also post their videos onto Instagram as well, and this gets them even more traffic this way. But yes, even though clearly I am a little biased for Shopify, I hope that I'm still showing here that each different platform has its own pros and cons. eBay isn't better than Etsy, and Etsy isn't better than Shopify, and Shopify isn't better than eBay. Each is just different, and they all have their own pros and they all have their own cons. And so the question that you need to ask yourself is which one's pros and cons match up best with what you want? And actually, this brings me to my next alternative, Printify's pop-up shop. Yep, so this here is Printify's pop-up shop, and here's the thing, if you're looking for a 100% free way to make and sell print-on-demand products in your own store, this, my friends, is it. Yep, and it works perfectly with social media traffic like TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. So to create a pop-up store, sign into your Printify account and then choose to add a new store into it. And then select to add a pop-up store. Then type in the name of what you want to call your store, and then you just choose what you want your store theme to look like. And that's literally it. Printify will create a mobile optimized pop-up store for you. You just go in and then add in the products that you'd like to sell into it. And when you do that, you'll now have a simple yet clean store like this. And when a customer comes and purchases a product from you in the store, unlike in an eBay, Shopify, or Etsy store, you don't have to pay the production or shipping costs for any of the items that you sell. Nope, because you see, what a lot of people don't realize is that when you sell, say, a t-shirt in your own eBay or Etsy store, or of course in your own Shopify Print on Demand store, that Print on Demand app that you connected to that store to then sell that item cannot access the money that the customer has paid. Nope, you instead need to be the one to cover the upfront cost of that t-shirt and shipping. It takes 1 to 2 days for Etsy or Shopify to process my customers' payments and send them to my bank account. So for those 1 to 2 days, I need to be covering any upfront printing and shipping costs. Now, for me, I will personally use an Amex credit card. This earns me travel rewards points, so I'll pay for my printing and shipping costs with it. Then 2 days later, once the money has processed, I will pay back the credit card and earn the rewards from it before I have to pay any interest. It lets me and my parents get free business class upgrades, so personally, I consider this a pro. But if you don't have any extra spare cash lying around or a credit card to be able to pay for these upfront printing and production costs while you're waiting for the money to process into your bank account, you might very well consider that a con. Yep, which is why Printify's pop-up shop is so interesting, because you're selling directly on Printify's website and they are the one that's actually processing the payments. They can access those payments immediately and deduct shipping and production costs from them so that you don't have to cover this up front, which is honestly pretty cool. But here's the thing, right? As cool as that is, no matter what, this is not a platform that you will sell with in the long run? Nope, because here's the thing, right? You have very little ability to customize these sorts of stores. Nope, in fact, I could be wrong, but I don't even think that you're allowed to add in your own custom domain currently to a Printify pop-up store. Which is why you might also want to consider this next alternative, and that is a Shopify starter store. Yep, I think of this as the middle ground between a full Shopify store and a Printify pop-up store. Shopify starter stores cost just $1 currently to open and just $5 a month in hosting fees. As you can see, they are simple and clean like Printify pop-up stores, except unlike a Printify pop-up store, you can customize them a lot more, such as adding in any custom domain name that you like. And like a Printify pop-up store, they're also surprisingly easy to create. Yep, it's kind of crazy honestly how simple this process is. So just click to sign up. Then Shopify will ask you to fill in a survey, but honestly, you can just skip past this. Then you'll just need to set up a login. I find it easier to use a Google account for this. And then that's it. Shopify will now load up and create your new store. But of course, you will need to customize it. So you'll want to add in products. To do that, come to the Shopify App Store and then select the Print On Demand app that you use from the list, or if you can't see it on the home page, search for it. Once you've opened it up, click to install it and add it into your Shopify store. Then open up the app and sign into your Print On Demand account. And then once you're inside, if you don't have any products added into your account already, go ahead and create the products that you intend to sell. And then once you have the products that you want to sell in it, go ahead and publish them. Now your app will add them directly into your starter store. And then once they've finished publishing to it, you'll be able to see them listed inside of your store products. And so now that you have your products, you can customize the look of your store. So click on Online Store and then click the button to customize it. Inside this section, you can come and add in your own store logo to add in your own store branding. And of course, if you don't yet have a store logo, you can always create one for free using Canva. That is how I made my store logo here. I'll have an affiliate link to where you can get a free 30-day premium account to Canva in the video description below. But yes, once you've done that, you can then customize the colors of the store to match your brand. So for me, since this store sells items for baristas and coffee lovers, I changed the buttons to be a coffee bean brown color. And then next, you can customize it further by adding in a little blurb into your store footer that advertises your store. And of course, you can add in the links to your socials, like your Instagram or TikTok page here as well. Then you can come back to your Shopify dashboard and select to edit your sharing details. Here, you'll need to give your store a title and a description. And if you aren't sure what to write for this, then a tip that I have is that you can always use a free chatbot like the free version of ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot to help you write this. Then after that, you just type in your store name and you then set up Shopify payments. This is Shopify's payment processor. When setting it up, the only tricky part is they'll ask you if you are a sole proprietor or a company. And for most of you watching, chances are you're probably a sole proprietor. You'll then need to also fill out some information about yourself, which is just a legal requirement so that they can make sure that you aren't something like a scammer. And then just pick your Shopify plan. Currently, Shopify plans all cost $1 as of me filming for the first month, including the starter plan. After that, it is $5 a month, which is way less than their other plans. So go ahead and click the starter plan and purchase it. Now, at this point during your store setup process, you have two options. One is that you can use Shopify's branded domain name, or if you have an extra $9, you can go ahead and buy your own custom domain name, which honestly I highly recommend. Yep, and to do that, just come to settings and click on domains and then select to purchase a domain and type in the URL that you want your store to be called. You can then choose any domain, but currently the cheapest domain is the .store domain, which costs just $9 for the first year. So I selected to purchase that one. And then you can come back to your dashboard and select to remove your store password to send your store live. And then that's it. In less than 5 minutes, we have created a professional store for just $10. Customers can access it and buy items from their computer if they choose, or they can access it from a mobile phone. And honestly, it's extremely well optimized and designed for mobile traffic conversions. So I'd recommend combining this sort of store with a traffic strategy that focuses on mobile apps like Instagram and TikTok. So then, if you'd like to learn about interesting, cool ways to use Canva to earn money online, like by creating print-on-demand products to sell, be sure to watch my video here on screen, and I will see you in the next video.